And it's after the checkered flag on supercrosslive.com from Anaheim 3, the 6th round of this championship, Ricky. We're going to go east, so the next chapter of this championship will start, but let's focus on what happened tonight. We'll start 250, and we'll start with Christian Craig. Multiple reasons why he needed to be good tonight, but I think the big one is that championship spread. He had a little bit of help, but he's got to feel really good going into that 5-week break.
Yeah, he certainly does. And I just go back to what it was like probably 5 minutes before the end of that race. He wasn't going to have a huge points lead like he does now. So it completely changes the dynamic. In my mind, he has to go into conservative mode now. He's got to manage his championship to the end till we get to Salt Lake City. He's got to keep himself out of harm's way. 5 weeks off. The break is going to be nice, but now it's realistic. This championship is realistic. And there's a lot of riding that needs to be had in these 5 weeks. He's going to race the 450 outdoors. So he's going to be hopping on a new motorcycle. Not new, but a different displacement. Yep. It's completely different. So going to be interesting. There's going to be some management on that side that needs to happen. No unnecessary rest needs to be taken. But, you know, I go back to what we were talking about on the broadcast. And I feel like he really started to put the pressure on the other guys.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting into a situation. I mean, I don't want to speculate, but listen, Hunter knew that he had to go through the whoops faster if he wanted a chance to beat Christian Craig. And when you do that, you take a little bit more risk, you get out of your comfort zone, and things are going to happen. So hopefully that Hunter is going to be okay. But nevertheless, that was a huge points blow to not only him, but Michael Mosiman.
Yeah, so Craig's got that gap, and he's driving to Florida tomorrow. It's a long drive. I wonder what he's going to be thinking about. And he even told Will, I try not to think about the championship, but I'll bet he thinks about it a little bit on that drive, and then he'll get to work and come back in Seattle.
That's right. Yeah, and the thinking part is not as bad now that you have over a race lead in points. Right. Now, if it was what it would have been is like 11 points. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to sleep on, and it's not a comforting feeling when you know you got a showdown coming. And those are always hard. Anything can happen there. So, but he's put himself in the great position. You and I talked about it off camera. Daniel and I were talking just about how amazing it was and how Christian has responded from the positions he's been in. You go back to San Diego, boom, he marches back up to the podium. Last weekend, in a short race, he marches back up to, what, 4th, I think, and ended up salvaging a great finish.
Yeah, saved his overall. Yeah.
In years past, I don't think he would have done that. So he is a completely different guy, and really he is in a class of his own.
We talked to Craig and Freese before the race, obviously a big topic of discussion this weekend, and both riders said, just want to move on. Just want to move on. I want to get back to business. And you said on the broadcast the irony that they go 1-2 tonight. I mean, really? Really?
I know. You couldn't make that up. But now I go to Vince Freese. Yeah. And what an incredible ride. He was really close to the podium when we were here for Anaheim 2. I think he would have been on the podium last week. I think that you could make a fair case that he would have been. And then, boom, he was there tonight. He was riding very, very well, and he deserves it. So, from Christian Craig's standpoint on that, what happened in Glendale, he's got to move on. He's got to put that behind him. He knows a position that he doesn't need to be in and who he's racing against. So, it's clear sailing for him tonight. Great job by him. And like I said, hopefully Hunter will be okay. But I'm looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah, 250 East kicking off. Okay. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I can't wait to see Faulkner back. Yeah. I can't wait to see Jet Lawrence. Jeremy Martin, you said you've seen him. And
he's looking great. Levi Kitchen.
Yeah, Max Volan.
Max Volan. It's just so much up, so I'm not going to get into predicting. I know Daniel and I are really, really excited for it. There's just so many guys going around. You know, it's almost, I go back to the first round here. We know guys are fast, but it's going to be too hard. We
just don't know yet. We don't know.
You don't know. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Can't wait to get it started. 450s. Before the gate drop, you said you want to see Anderson Tomac. What would happen if they matched up? And they've had some battles this year, but this was a big one because they had 20 minutes plus a lap to settle this thing. And, I mean, when you walked in here today, the first thing you said to me was Jason Anderson, just the way he looked in free practice, and he carried that to the checkered flag all the way.
Well, I came up here and I told Daniel I was down on the track, and I love going there in the warm-up practice because I can see, I can feel it. I can see guys, little nuances that is really hard to see unless you've raced at this level. And there was a certain turn after the finish line where he was just going, there's those 4 little rollers, he's going just to the inside immediately, early, and as an average, he was hitting that whole corner just much better easier, smoother. Other guys could get it right, say 3 out of 5 times. He was on the mark every single time. Like he looks comfortable. His speeds looked good. And hey, you know what? Eli Tomac put on a heck of a performance. He's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be able to beat Jason Anderson every time, and Jason Anderson isn't going to be able to beat Eli Tomac and the rest of the field every time. That's just the way it is. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure they want to beat each other every time, but super hard to do with the level they're riding.
Yeah, and you even said on the broadcast a chess match. That could be the race itself, but that could be the championship. It's also a chess match, and tonight Anderson made his move, and Eli was okay with that, and they'll go right back at it. But these two have they've broken away a little bit. There's guys who are going to get in there, Ricky, but these two have done it multiple times now. They both have 2 wins.
Yeah, and they seem to find each other up front. They're all, to your point, they're the only 2 guys that have won multiple races. And, I feel like tonight was a display of they are the 2 guys. A couple guys, as you said, are still lurking there. You got Justin Barcia, Malcolm Stewart, Chase Sexton. Anything can happen. They're going to contend for wins, possibly get more wins. Dylan Ferrandis is going to get one. But those guys, Dylan Ferrandis, Cooper Webb, Roxon, they're buried in the points. I don't think they're going to come back from that. But they are guys that can get in there and mix things up, maybe make it an advantage for Jason Anderson or make an advantage for Eli Tomac, nevertheless. But I think it was a great management race for Eli Tomac. He made a couple runs. He said it. He was fast in the whoops, had a moment. He says he lost his confidence. So some days you just got to take second, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you've been in those battles, and you can't win them all. You just got to be smart. He was. That was great. Last thing on Barcia. Wins a heat race, gets on the podium, kind of bounces back to where he started the season. And I know you like that for a guy to have some struggles and be able to dig deep and figure it out.
Yeah, I like what I saw from Justin Barcia because of the things that you just said right now. He always starts off fast and good, riding like he's at a level ahead of what he normally is, and then he dips down. Well, I like what he is able to do tonight. So I would love to see him put in more performances like that because I know that's what he's capable of. So I like seeing guys reach their potential all the time.
So we're going racing next week, Minneapolis. It's going to be 5 Eastern on CNBC and, of course, on Peacock. And, we'll kick off the 250 East, and we'll continue this fight, round 7 of the 450 Championship. So thanks for tuning in to Anaheim, and we'll see you next week in Minneapolis.
Good job.